Tomorrow, the streets of downtown Hartford will be all green for the annual St. Patrick's Day parade. But remember, after the parade, there's a lot of people going out to have a good time, maybe going to bars, going to gatherings. Please be safe on the roads. We're so happy to have the communications director for the Connecticut Department of Transportation, Josh Morgan, joining us now. Good to see you again, sir.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
I know we usually have you on during the winters, which are obviously a very busy time, although you were telling me there's no non-busy times in the Department of Transportation. But still, I got to imagine this is usually a very concerning time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the St. Patrick's Day weekend. We have the data, seeing it here in Connecticut, also across the country. Very dangerous time on our roadways because of the amount of alcohol impaired driving that we're seeing. So with the parades happening in Hartford, New Haven, events happening around the state, we just want to remind people, go out, have a good time, but make sure you have a safe plan to get home.
So before we talk about the problems, I want to make sure we're talking about those plans first. What are some of the options people have right there? I'm sure some they know about, some they might not think about but should.
Yeah, just plan ahead before you leave your house in the morning. If you're going to the parade, have those rideshare apps downloaded on your phone. Have them loaded up with your credit card payment information so you can call a ride. Know what public transportation options are available to you, the train, the bus. Lots of different ways to get around Hartford, go to point A to point B, and make sure that if you're not going to use those options, that you have a sober designated driver. Don't let the parade end. Don't let your afternoon or night end and say, how are we getting home again? We didn't talk about this. Very dangerous. Make sure you have a safe plan to get home.
Yeah, I imagine designating a driver is probably not something you can even wait until the last minute. I mean, it could work, but sometimes the excitement gets the better of people.
Yeah, not a good idea to try to figure out how you're going to get home at the end of the night. Figure out that plan before you actually go out to celebrate.
Yeah. Now, just how bad of a problem is both nationwide and in Connecticut, sort of St. Patrick's Day related drunk driving problems?
Yeah, looking at that time, between the 16th and the 18th, about 40% of fatalities around the country are caused by an alcohol impaired driver. Multiple people are going to be killed in alcohol related crashes. Just as we're talking, it's about one person every 35 or 36 minutes is being killed in an alcohol impaired crash around the country. And in Connecticut, about 130 people every year are killed in these impaired driving crashes. Totally preventable if people were doing the safe and responsible thing.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, so I'm trying to do the math quickly. You mentioned about 40% nationwide are drunk driving related, but drunk driving is such a problem that I'm imagining that number is still somewhat high. I don't know if you know the percentage outside of St. Patrick's Day weekend, just year long. I got to imagine a good number of driving related deaths are alcohol related.
Nationwide, it's about 30%. So, thousands and thousands of lives being lost, families, communities being ripped apart because of selfish, impaired driving decisions. In Connecticut, we fluctuate between 35 and 40% of our fatalities. So we are above the national average, and that's a number that we know can be changed if people just were responsible, didn't make that selfish decision and say, I'm going to drive even though I've been drinking all day. Don't do that. Public transportation, ride share, sober driver. Get home safe this weekend.
There you go. Please do. Yeah, it's one of those things that it feels inevitable, but it is completely preventable. There's absolutely no reason somebody has to die in a drunk driving related death. So let's not make it happen. Those are some great ideas. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Just the ideas. Get that word out, right, as much as you possibly can. That's why Josh Morgan does such a good job there with the Department of Transportation. Thanks.
Tim.
Good to see you again. All right, we do have some quick breaking news on a sad note. Former U.S. Senator from Wyoming, Alan Simpson, has passed away at the age of 93. We will have more on that throughout the course of the day today.